I never thought the day would come when I'd be making a video about vegan butter. If you watch this channel, you know that I am not a vegan butter sort of person. I am an omnivore all the way. But in some classes, I do cook for people who are vegan. And the one ingredient that I always miss terribly in those situations is not meat, but butter. Olive oil is fabulous. It's my default fat, but in some cases, butter tastes better. Say I'm trying to finish a bowl of buckwheat or beans or pasta. Olive oil tastes green to me. It's grassy and vegetal, while the butter is mellow and sweet and you know, I don't have words to describe butter. There is really nothing like it. So I was looking for a butter substitute that would work as a finishing touch in dishes that are heavy on fiber. People who like that sort of thing call it earthy, and people who hate it call it cardboardy. Well, I'm glad to report that I found just the thing. It was inspired by the leftover oil I had from making the crispy shallot garnish. Yes, the very one I just made the video about. That oil smelled so sweet but savory at the same time, it reminded me of butter. So I decided to take it to the next step and give it more body and more nutty, sweet, fermented flavor that I love so much about butter. I toasted some pine nuts, the sweetest, most mellow nut in the world, added some white miso for its yeasty complexity, and pureed it all with shallot oil. I gave it to my kids to try on plain pasta, and they swore it was pasta with butter. I tried it with buckwheat, farro, and beans, and it was delicious. It actually reminded me more of duck fat than butter. I don't know if it would fool me into thinking it was actually butter, but it provided similar benefits. Obviously, this is not a replacement for butter when it comes to baking, and it's not something you can spread on bread. But in cooking, it is very tasty. So let me show you how to make it, and then I'll tell you all about some store-bought alternatives as well. Let's set a pan over medium heat. Add 50 grams of pine nuts and cook them, shaking the pan occasionally until the nuts start to brown and look like this. This will take about 5 minutes. As soon as they are done, remove them from the pan so that they don't burn. Cool the pine nuts. Put the shallot oil, I have about 1.5 cups left over from crispy shallots, the pine nuts and 40 grams of miso into a blender and puree until perfectly silky. The amounts are not very important here, you can eyeball everything. That's what I did until I had to make a recipe for you. Pour into a jar and store in the fridge indefinitely. Eventually this mixture will separate, so make sure to stir it before using, and I would suggest using it up within a month for best flavor. So once I made vegan butter, I got curious about what butter substitutes are available for purchase and what's in them. Am I the only crazy person who had that nut idea? Turns out not. The luxury brand of vegan butter called Miyoko's uses nuts as well. They use cashews. I also noticed cultures on the ingredients list. I'm guessing that serves a similar purpose to miso, but is probably closer to cultures found in butter. To make their butter solid and spreadable, they used coconut oil. How was it? Surprisingly close to real butter. If I were vegan, this is the brand I would use. A few drawbacks of this brand is that it is very expensive and has higher saturated fat than real butter does. But how you weigh those pros and cons is up to you. Coconut oil either cures everything that ails you or is pure poison depending on which source you read. I have also tried Earth Balance European style vegan butter that seems to be more widely available than Miyoko's. It doesn't contain any coconut oil, so it's low in saturated fat. Too bad it tastes as horrible as margarine. This is kind of what I expected from vegan butter, but Miyoko's was a pleasant surprise. I am really excited that I can now make reasonable suggestions to my students who can't have, all sorts of things like salt here is a video on that, by the way, or who choose not to eat animal products for ethical or environmental reasons. You know, we love to judge others for their food choices. I mean, come on, I'm no different. I am as judgy as the next person. I don't mean to be, but I am human just like you. And I find that forcing yourself to cook with restrictions I'm not normally used to can foster not only understanding but also creativity. I don't do that all the time, but I think it's a good thing to do on occasion. And here's a question for you. Have you ever tried an alternative food that pleasantly surprised you? What was it? I have this feeling everyone will say Impossible Burger. Let me know in the comments and maybe I'll try it too. Here are more thought-provoking culinary videos for you to check out, and if you are ever in the Boston area, maybe I'll see you in one of my classes.